Hi, I'm Michelle with Finding Home. I've got 3 new meals this week, and I hope you enjoy them. Thanks for stopping by. Today's Ash Wednesday, so I'm going to make cheese and onion enchiladas for me, and I'm going to make ground beef enchiladas for my husband. And I picked this up, I think, in the last haul. It is the Siete red enchilada sauce, so I'm giving this a try. I have made my own. It's not always easy to get the peppers and then the time to make it, but I'd heard good things about this one, so we're going to try this one for something a little different. And if you want to try it, buy it at Walmart. It's over $1.50 cheaper than any other store I've found it at. I've got some corn tortillas. I've got an onion. I'm going to put half of it in with the ground beef, half of it in with the cheese into the corn tortillas. I'm going to use the Chihuahua cheese for the insides of my enchiladas. And then I'm going to shred some of the Colby Jack. I've got a pound of ground beef. And then at this point, use a taco seasoning pack if you want. I thought I had a can of green chilies. Evidently, I'm out of those, so I will be picking those up. But we're going to use onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, cumin, and oregano. And I'm going to throw in a pack of the Sazón Goya. But we're just going to make a big old pan of enchiladas. And they're so easy. The next time you make tacos, make 2 pounds, make 3 pounds, and freeze the excess that you make. And then all you'd have to come home and do is fry up some of the corn tortillas. That's what I forgot. I need the oil for the corn tortillas. Dice up some onions, and you've got dinner really quick and easy for tonight. I've gone ahead and cooked the meat, and I have just, all I've added is half of an onion and the meat, and I've cooked it down. And then I've got the Sazón Goya that we're going to add in. And then I'm going to add in cumin, chili powder, oregano, garlic powder, and onion powder. And then a little bit of water. And get this all mixed up. And then I'm going to put it back on a low flame for a few minutes until that water cooks down and off. And I've really tried to get the meat broken into small crumbles because they're going into corn tortillas. Probably add a little bit more water. It was less than a quarter cup, so. And then I'm going to get another frying pan with some oil heated up, and we'll fry the corn tortillas. I've got my oil hot, and I'm just going to take a corn tortilla, and we're going to put it in the oil. And all you're really doing is for a few seconds just to warm it. And it just, I don't know if it helps it, but it makes it almost more like the Mexican restaurants that you go to. You can also microwave them. This just gives it that texture that makes you feel like you're eating out instead of at home. And we're going to fry each one of them the same way. I'm probably doing 6 meat and 6 cheese and onion. Also, so you know, this was maybe 2 tablespoons of oil at the bottom of this pan. I didn't fill the entire pan. You don't want them deep frying. You're just heating them up in the oil. And see, when I put them back in, I rotate them around in the oil. So inside here, we're going to add, if I can open it. There it goes. We're going to add just a little bit of the enchilada sauce to the bottom. Maybe a 1/4 cup at the very most. It smells very good. Now I have greased this pan just to make sure that all this cheese I'm going to put in this does not stick all over the place. All right. So for mine, I'm going to use up this Chihuahua cheese. And I'm just going to take a good amount. And we're going to put it right here in the middle. And like I said, I want cheese and onion ones. So I've got some diced onion. And this is all we're putting in these, or cheese and onion. And these are not cooked onions, these are raw. If you ever get them, the cheese enchiladas, for the little kids, they don't put the onions in them, but if you order them off the adult menu, they do. So I'm going to put all of the cheese on one side, the meat on the other. That way my husband and I can figure out what all we're having. But for his, I'm going to take some of this, some of this meat. And I'm just going to put it right here in the middle, just like the cheese. Now I'm going to take this is Colby Jack. And I shredded 2 bricks of it, but I already know we're not going to use all of it tonight, so I'll just put it in a Ziploc bag, and then my cheese is shredded for the week for anything else we need. And this one did break, but this one's going to go over on this side because I know it's the meat. You can do any of the different meats, anything else in these, and split them this way, and then that way you have different options. So I ended up having to do 4 extra, and there's still meat left. This is actually a really great way to make meat stretch. I'm just going to pour it over the top. Like I said, these are my husband's anyways. And this is the meat side, so he won't care. So he gets a meat sauce on top, which you can also do. I've done that before. So put that back over there. We're going to pick the enchilada sauce, and we're going to add this. A lot of times I will put in a measuring cup, that way it's not so messy, but I forgot. But I try to cover, I go over the top and try to cover each one. And that's why I don't put as much on the bottom as I do on the top. Okay. There we go. Now, I only have a little bit left of this Chihuahua cheese, so we're going to sprinkle. I'm going to use it for myself as much as I can, and then I'll use the Colby on the rest. As always, I probably have a lot of food here. I mean, this is more than we'll need for dinner tonight and for lunches. My husband likes a lot of cheese. I'm going to probably put just a little bit more on mine. And we're going to wrap this in foil, but so that it doesn't stick. I don't know if you've ever seen this trick. I spray just a little bit of oil on top of the cheese, and then I'm going to put aluminum foil in, and we're going to put it in the oven for about 15 minutes covered. And after that, I'll take the foil off and bake for probably another 10. And here we are out of the oven. It looks and smells so good. Tonight this isn't going to be 30 minutes. It'll probably be about 40. I think you can make it quicker if you prep the stuff the night before, the vegetables, and did a rotisserie chicken. I did not do that, but the next time I thought about it, I should have picked up the rotisserie chicken and I just would have shredded it and it would have worked for both recipes this week. But it's no big deal. I'm just going to cook the chicken breast in an extra pan while I'm putting the vegetables together. But we're going to make a chicken pot pie. And I've got chicken broth, salt, pepper. I like potatoes in mine, but I slice them really thin so that way they cook faster. I've got some flour. I've got pie crust, the chicken, and as I said, you could use a rotisserie chicken, butter, my pie pan, even though I'm going back and forth. This is a deep dish one. The other one is not as deep and it's just a little bit bigger, but I can't figure out which way I want to go on this. An onion. I've got just a little bit of heavy whipping cream I want to use. It called for poultry seasoning, but I don't have any. I usually don't use it. You could use some thyme and some marjoram and rosemary. But I've got herbes de Provence, and it's got all that stuff in it also, so we're going to use that. I've got some baby carrots and some celery. The other thing you could do to make this quicker is not use the celery and carrot and onion or potatoes, and just use some mixed vegetables, and that would make this go a little bit faster. So I've diced up everything really small, as you can see. The potato, look how small the potato even is. That's how this is going to cook as fast as I need it to. And then I'm just cooking the chicken breast over here. I put some water in. Question, does anybody else have to have a child protection lock? And not because I have children in the house? We don't know if it's the dog or the cat. But we've come home to the dials on my gas stove turned. No clue. There are no children in this house. There aren't even teenagers in this house. Anyways, I'm getting this going. It's only been maybe 5 minutes. I put a lid on this and a little bit of water. Those carrots are almost cooked. The potatoes are almost cooked. So if you dice it small enough, you can get it to cook faster. Chicken's almost done, although I did find out one of my pie crust for some reason was dry. So we're only going to do one pie crust now instead of two. I've got the butter melted, and we're just going to add, I did a little over 2 tablespoons butter. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons flour. Get this all mixed in. And get the rawness of the flour cooked out. Just takes a minute or two. Chicken is almost done. So in the time it took to cook the chicken breast, we've almost done everything else. So surprisingly, this can be a quick meal. Just depends on how many steps you want to take with it. Now, this is also where I'm going to add in the herbs. It's just a teaspoon. I'm going to go very cautiously on the salt. I did season the chicken just to cook it so it had some flavor. Same ingredients or same seasonings. And there's some pepper. This mixed a little bit. By now the flour's cooking. And we're going to add in the chicken broth. Bring this back up. I had turned it down. And get it all mixed up. Now we're going to wait till it comes up to a little bit of a boil. And it'll thicken, and then we'll add the cream. I have cut up the chicken, so we're going to add the chicken. still thickening, so we'll let it thicken a little bit more, and then we'll get this in the pie dish. We'll add the heavy cream and get it in the pie dish. Adding the heavy cream, like I said, not adding a ton. That's just going to give it that creamy factor. I got it down to reduce. Another trick, if you can't get it to reduce, add some potatoes, instant potatoes into it. It'll thicken it up. So you can put that in anything that you've gotten too soupy. This would have worked regardless. Yay! I've been wanting to use this dish, so. All right, hopefully this one's drying out too. We're just gonna put this over the top and go ahead and crimp it down into it. I don't know if this pie crust will work. We may. Got another idea. So when life throws you curveballs, I've got sheet, crescent roll dough sheet, and we're just going to use this instead. I could have made biscuits to put on top. I don't have any biscuits, or I probably would have actually just dropped some biscuits on top. Oh, come on. This should be fine, yet this one doesn't look like it's... I don't know what's going on with my life, but boy, that wouldn't have been a pretty thing for a sheet pan. It's nice and has holes in it. It's okay. We'll just push it together. It's one of these things. You might have to improvise sometimes because not everything is perfect. And I know not everything's perfect in my kitchen. So we're just going to lay this over the top. Try to get this to look a little bit better. And then get a knife out. Get rid of this excess. I may be regretting this, but this is my thought process. Get rid of this stuff over here. There we go. And now we're just going to put this like we would the pie crust. Try to make it as pretty as you can. I've got my oven preheated to 375, but because I changed the topping on this, I'm going to have to watch it. And I'll let you know what I ended up doing. Try to make it pretty. I don't know if I can or not. I always have this problem with pie crust. I am not the best person for pie crust. I will be the first one to say it. I never think it looks very pretty when I do something with pie crust. And this isn't even pie crust. This is really soft crescent roll sheet. But we made it work. Well, wasn't what I planned, but this only took 10 minutes, so it probably came in under the 30 minutes. Wasn't planning that either. That's what I did with the remainder. I just made little tiny crescent rolls. But we're going to have this with some salad tonight. Thanks for joining me, and as I prove on a daily basis, Having a full stocked pantry and refrigerator will save you when things don't always work out. Tonight I'm going to do breaded tenderloins. So I have pork loin cube steaks. I'm probably only going to do 2 of these. I don't know. I'm going to ask my husband if he wants 2 or if he just wants 1. I've got mayonnaise, panko breadcrumbs, sea salt, slap ya mama or any Cajun seasoning you like, some pepper, and then I'm also going to take some mini potatoes and I'm going to season them with onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and a little bit of oil. And that's what we're going to call dinner tonight. We're going to start with the potatoes. I have the air fryer preheating, and I am just taking the potatoes, quartering them, and putting them in my air fryer basket. And then we'll get them seasoned up when I've got that basket full. I've got my little basket full, and I just quartered them, and we're just going to add in some oil. And then I'm going to use onion powder, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. Wrong way. There we go. Now you can season these any way you want, but that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them a mix. Get all the seasoning all messed around, and then they're going to go in the air fryer. I'm going to watch it, but I'm setting it for 400 for about 20 minutes, and then I'll shake the basket a couple times. For the tenderloins, I'm going to take panko breadcrumbs. You could also use regular breadcrumbs. You could use cornflakes and just crush them up, crackers and crush them up. This is just what we prefer. Now, I'm just going to use some Slap Ya Mama in this, or any Cajun seasoning you like. And it's not a lot, it's just whatever your taste is for this. My husband and I do like that. I'm going to open this up. If you can't find these, now I found these at Walmart. I usually get them at Meijer's. You can always, if you've got a local grocery store with a butcher, ask them to take pork loin and run it through the cuber for you, because that's all this is. We're going to take mayonnaise. You're going to throw a little bit on here. This is what my mother has been doing. You could also take mustard. You could take egg and do this. And give it a good slather. Put it in just like that. Know which one's which. And do a repeat. I don't know what it is. And she did this because she didn't have eggs one time. And we did this. And she looked at me like I was crazy. I said, you can do mustard too. And she loved it. And she doesn't do mayonnaise because she is allergic to eggs. So she's always just been very careful. And she's never been the biggest fan of it. Let's put it that way. Of mayonnaise. But being allergic to eggs, I kind of understand that. Just make sure you get it really on here and really press it in. And I've got a pan over here with avocado oil, and we'll get that up to 10. And then I will show you how we just do a shallow fry on this. Now that I've gotten my oil nice and heated, I'm going to put this one in. And this is, like I said, this is just a shallow fry. There we go. And it's going to go about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and you'll want the center to be at about 155, 140, 150. Depends on how you like your pork. Some like it fully cooked and others like it a little bit under. Now we're going to give it a flip, see how it is. There we go. And that's what you're looking for. And we are at 160. Throw it back over for 2 seconds. Go. Now I gotta fry all the rest of these. I still have 2 more to cook, but I decided I'm gonna go ahead and eat. So there are my potatoes, and I'm just gonna take the breaded tenderloin, which is very hot, and I'm gonna probably put mayonnaise on top. But that is a breaded tenderloin. Now, these aren't traditional for Indiana. For Indiana, we're known for our breaded tenderloins. They are probably about this big or bigger, if you've ever seen them. And they are a flour with seasoning and egg. This is just a different way to do it. In fact, at Christmas, when my son was in town, he did chicken like this. And we breaded it and fried it, shallow fried it, and he took it to his wife's family while he was here. So, but that's dinner, and quick, easy, and I hope you enjoy it. And please give it a try. It is really good.